Hello and welcome back to another week here at Heroes and Hooligans, where we are playing Gilded Destinies. Thank you for making it here for episode 2. We are all excited to see you. I'm sure most excited of all is whoever's going to be doing our recap from last week.
You know what? I'll do it. I will, because I have notes from 2 weeks ago. Okay. So we started the new campaign, and the 5 of us were all in Sharn for one reason or another. I think Jolly's most tragic start out, being laid off 2 weeks before, or 2 months before retirement. Pretty rough. So we're gonna burn down the union. We all got letters from a new guild that is trying to compete with the great houses. And so we went there and we met Borf, I think is his name. Oh, Bor, a little gnome, and Grin, a warforged. And they told us about the Bruxhaven Trading Company and what they wanted to do, asked us if we wanted to sign on. We decided to do so. And now we're going to be laying railroads, I think, unless I missed anything. I think that's pretty much it, except for now we don't have Chipper.
Oh no.
Oh no.
We're living in the land of technical difficulties today, I suppose. But I think that's it, right? We're charting a new rail course across the continent. And
That's right.
That's that.
Because screw the main houses.
Yeah.
Hashtag justice for Jolly.
Hashtag justice for Jolly. Yep. Each of us having our own different reason for being in Sharn, of course, and some of us associated with great houses, some of us not. So it'll be interesting to see how all of that plays out. So I believe now we're getting ready to set out on our first track laying venture, ? Not a railroader.
Trailblazing, perhaps?
You know what? Wow. That's a good word.
The trail we blaze.
What was it?
Yeah.
I forget. The joke is past.
The joke
Let's
is
move
it's one of those.
Timing is everything. Timing is everything.
But that's a recap, Chip. Even though you missed half of it.
But before you all, so you will go ahead and take a point of inspiration for that, Hooli.
Okay. Huzzah.
And before we go ahead and set out here today, you are, when we left off, you were still in the building here with Bor, your new co-owner, boss. You know, the dynamic's uncertain. He certainly thinks he's the boss, but he says you're all partial owners as well. Having just signed your contract with him, Jolly had offered to try to put a route together, and I'm assuming at this point has pulled out his map and begun poring over it, trying to plan a new lightning rail line.
That's right. So here's what I'm thinking. Okay. Let me show you the map here. So let's go through this for a second, and let me just share kind of what I'm thinking here. So we are. Everybody see this? We are down in Sharn. Everybody knows we're in Sharn. We're in Sharn. Of course, we're in Sharn. Yeah. And we need. The job is to get to the Moorland, right?
Yep, that's right.
So here's what I'm thinking. Everybody's taking the northern route right now, as you can see. You've got, let me just show you on the map here. You've got this area here. Let's zoom in here. This is the existing lightning rail, right? This is where I worked for 29 years, 10 months, all through here. From Sharn past the first tower to Rote and have a nice stop. Everybody would have lunch. We'd go past the Bears Woods. And then, you're following the main road where the wagons and everyone else travels. For most of that, you're pretty close to it. And once you get past Bears Woods, you sort of divert through the plains here on your way to Starlasker and Vatherond, right? And that's usually where my shift would end. Now, conventional wisdom would say that we would sort of set up a track. This is tried and true. We know this very well. But I think we can actually get there faster with more opportunity if we take an eastern route through to Zilspar, and then we go up through the borderlands between Breland and Solargo up to Revan. Now, the only problem with Revan is they have a slight wyvern problem, but it's a very small town. And if we purchase some property there and we deal with their wyvern problem, this could be a boom town because it's right on the border. It's right near Fort Transcend, and it's right near the Howling Peaks. And everyone knows that if there were no wyverns there, what do we got there? Mines. We got mines. We have so many mines. There's so much money to be made at the Howling Peaks. So then if we continue past there, we can go to Dragon Roost. Same thing. Now we meet back up with the road. This is another area, small town that we can turn into a boom town. And then we move up to Sterngate, and we will cross here. We will have a little bit of a cross here with another existing lightning rail. But then we cut through the pass Margol, and we can beeline it all the way to Whitehearth. Now, if we take this route, it's less miles, more opportunity, because we can now take these small towns into boom towns. And I think, the big rail company will just never know that we're even working on this until it's done. So that's what I propose.
Yes, I do. Boar speaks up. I do like that we don't really cross paths with any of the existing lines until we get into the mountains there. It's definitely will help us keep a lower profile until we're a bit established. I mean, they know what we're doing, but they don't know where we're doing it yet, right?
That's right.
And they don't know how we're doing it, fortunately. Speaking of which, why don't you all take this unit here with you? And he points to the little smaller track-laying bot, and get to know it overnight. You can come back in the morning, and I'll have your forward pay for you, and you can get set. You can get set off and get started.
Sounds like a plan. I know I've had a long day.
Yes. But yes, we can. Sounds like a plan. Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
I could definitely go for a rest.
Yeah, I could use a good rest, barrel of ale or two, and be ready to go in the morning.
Gotta rest.
Do you all
up
have
these
somewhere to
wyverns.
stay tonight?
Oh, I do. Yes, I booked lodgings.
I know some
before
of you
coming.
aren't from here. Wonderful, wonderful.
Don't believe we did yet, but I'm sure we can get some. I believe they were offered.
Oh, okay. Yes. Do you know where you'll be staying? Because it'd be helpful to help me reach you. That way I can get in touch with you if I need to.
I have a pretty decent rapport at one of the local taverns, the Dagger's Edge. That's where I've chosen to purchase a night or two to stay. If my new business partners here would be interested in staying there as well, I could speak to the owner.
Well, what a coincidence. That's the very establishment we were at before coming here.
Oh, I did some work on that tavern before being expelled from my house.
What do you say, Women Slayer?
Sounds like a plan to me.
All right. Well, then you'll all be at the Dagger's Edge, or at least most of you. Jolly, do you have a place here in town?
Well, I used to bunk in the quiet room, of course, when I was in town. So we used to have a room where we could get 8 hours of sleep before our next shift. So I guess not. I guess I don't.
Oh, well, I'll tell you what. And he reaches into a little pouch on his belt and pulls out about 10 gold coins. Why don't you take these and get lodgings for all of you who need a place to stay down at the Dagger's Edge?
It's a very fine establishment, and they serve decent food.
I can attest to the food. It was quite good.
It was delicious.
Mhm.
I've never
Not as good
actually
as-
been myself, you know. But perhaps I'll stop by in the morning and before you all head off and try it. You know, have a bite to eat.
I mean, you could join us tonight. We could get to know you as well.
I have a place. I could join you for a meal. Yes, certainly. But I do have quite a bit to take care of before that, and you know it's still early hours. You know, sun's still out, so you know I have to. Don't want to
Breakfast sounds
exactly keep money in the bank when we're opening up competition.
Yeah, maybe just meet us for breakfast,
All right,
friends.
well, I will.
Handle all of those logistics and things before we set out trailblazing.
Oh, is
Yes,
that what
yes,
we're
yes.
calling
I
it
can
now?
certainly do that. Yes, I'll see you at the Dagger's Edge for breakfast at about 8 in the morning.
Wow.
That's second breakfast.
Yeah, I guess we could sleep in. Sure. Guess I'll kill some time.
That's a
before we
very
meet.
early breakfast for me. I thought wow, your early risers. Love to see it. Love to see it. I'm sure you'll all do wonderfully. And as he goes to usher you out, you actually hear a pounding on the door.
Well, my mother always said the early dwarf gets the gem. Who is that at your door, by the way?
I don't know. Everyone I was expecting is here. And he
Mhm.
looks to Grin. Will you answer that? And the Warforged rolls his neck out, and you hear a creaking of wood as he does so before walking over to the door and opening it. Turns his head around. Message. Take it. All right. And he comes over with a little neatly tied scroll and hands it to Boar. You see Boar open it, and does anyone have a passive insight below a 12?
Nope.
No.
Zenlin does not see anything.
Yeah, Zenlin, he's reading a message. Everyone else, you notice his face sort of loses a bit of that ruddy cheekedness that he had and pales a bit. Well, yes, best be on your way. Best be on your way. I have got business to take care of tonight.
Was everything
Mr.
okay, sir?
I want to know if there's a back
everything-
door.
Are you asking or are you looking for one?
I've got a passive perception of 19 and
You can
a
see-
stealth roll of 21 to get out where nobody's going to see me. Thank you. That's what I'd like
Okay.
to do.
Yeah, you can definitely see that there's definitely some back rooms here, and you know how the buildings in the Forge District are built. There's at least 4 entrances and exits for every building because of the high risk of fire. So you know that there's somewhere you can slip out here.
Yeah, so while Resnor's like asking, like, hey, what are you all right? I'm gonna yeet myself right out.
But yes, there's nothing to worry about, Resno. It's just one of my old business partners wants to catch up.
Okay. Resnor will reach down to try and pick up the little bot again.
Yeah, you reach down to pick up the little bot, and this time it's still a decent size. It's about the size of like a milk crate. So it kind of sits on your forearm, fully covering your arm. It's not too heavy, but it's about 20 to 30 pounds, you guess. Easy
Resnor
for
will carry it
you,
out.
not so easy for anybody else.
Zenlin will walk
Uh,
out with Resnor.
It cocks its head up at you, and you see its little optic sensors, sort of the light in them blinks, and it goes. "Boop."
Indeed, my friend.
All right. And he calls out to behind you as you leave. Oh, you should name it, by the way, at some point. It doesn't have a name yet. Grin didn't give it one. He just called it the B3 EP unit. But you know, I think everything deserves a real name.
That it does.
Beep.
Beep. Yes, beep works perfectly.
E3 EP.
Resnor will look down at it and be like, beep.
Beep. Beep beep. Boop.
See, can already say its name.
My little friend is so smart.
Yeah, and you head out of the little office building here. Where's everyone heading? Are you all heading straight to the tavern? Do you want to look around Sharn, maybe see if there's any, quick little jobs to do? Look around and see if there's anything you want to buy. Sharn is it is the market city of the world. So there's tons of things to do here.
Zenlin might look for like a library, somewhere he could look into like stores of knowledge and see if he could find any leads or anything.
Yeah, definitely. Let me go ahead and get a quick idea of what everyone else wants to do quick. Jolly, anything in particular for you?
No.
All right, Coca-Cola.
Not really particularly, no. But when my friends leave the establishment, I will meander my way through some of the little side alleyways and like swoop myself back into the party inconspicuously with a nat 20 for 27 on my stealth, please.
Wonderful. Yeah, that's definitely doable. So, Jillian, is there anything you want to do? You want to head back down into the Undercity and try to help people on your own? Do you want to wander off and do anything? Do you want to go to your house's outpost here in the city and just rest?
See, Jillian's going to want to pack up her stuff probably from her house, but she also is going to want to stock up maybe on some herbs and things that she might need for healing folks while we're on our road trip.
Yeah, you could definitely do that at your house too. But and then it'd definitely be worth it to swing through the dockside markets and see if there's anything there that's not a staple, so to speak. And Reznor, anything you want to do?
Right now, Reznor is basically just really caught up with this robot in his hand, and he's just gonna follow Zenlin.
Okay, cool. In that case, we'll start with you, Coca-Cola, actually. As Zenlin and Reznor start to make their way through the city, Zenlin, you've never actually been here before, so go ahead and how would you like to try to find out where a library is?
Zenlin will probably try to find someone to ask.
Yeah.
Doesn't know him or anything.
Yeah. Go ahead and give me a perception or insight, your choice.
4 with disadvantage or insight without. We're gonna do the disadvantage.
So, real quick, while that's going on, because we haven't talked about it, I'm assuming Reznor's been to Sharn before.
Reznor has definitely been to Sharn before, but it's been in sort of a passing through and finding work kind of way. You've never really hung out here, I don't think.
I was about to say I have Wanderer, so I can always recall the general layout of terrain, settlements, and other features.
Yeah, in that case, yeah, you know the general layout. Zenlin, did you share with Reznor what you're looking for? I'm assuming. You told him,
probably.
I'm looking for a library.
Yeah, he probably would have said, "I'm gonna go look for a library," and then if Reznor followed or something.
Yeah, Reznor, just give me a DC 10 Wisdom or Intelligence.
Okay. No.
I got a 12.
Oh,
12?
Reznor.
Wonderful. You've actually gotten work at a place with a pretty big library before. You did a job as a wayfinder for Moorgrave University in the past. And you know that they have probably the biggest public library in Sharn and probably the biggest public library in Breland.
Here's once
You're pretty confident you could find your way there as well.
Yeah, I'll start kind of not saying, but if Zenlin starts to go the wrong way, Reznor will kind of point him the right way. And then he's still just looking at this robot.
Yeah. What do we get on that perception, by the way, Zenlin?
Oh, nat 1, 5.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, no. Zenlin is like every possible turn is turning the wrong way, and based on that, I assume Reznor just like grunts and points the other way, and Zenlin just like turns around.
Yeah, Reznor's just kind of sheepdogging you in the right direction. Yeah, you go to make a wrong turn, and he's just sort of standing in the way as the wall, and he makes a much better wall than a door.
Good at the wall.
But yeah, you make your way over to. You get about halfway across the university district in the upper wards of Sharn, when all of a sudden, Coca-Cola, you are able to pop back in with these two here, and anyone else who's gone along with them. So yeah, you were kind of dogging their steps a little bit, just about 50 feet back, and you finally found a good place to intersect and just pop back up.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do that and just pop up behind him. And I think I'll probably be pretty quiet as I do. No sense in making a big personal announcement when I'm living the shame game life right now.
Yeah. All right. So you all make your way over to Moorgrave University. This is like it's on it. It's in the upper levels of Sharn, and it is still on its own a massive towering building for its level. It seems to rise up beyond the next level and the level past that and the level past that, reaching all the way to the top of the city from here on the about 12th level. So you'd say this probably goes up about 40-ish stories.
It is truly remarkable what you can accomplish up here. What you all, anyways.
And you see at the entrance that you've come to, because for a building this large, there are, of course, multiple entrances to the grounds, a large set of what looks like not wrought iron, but fully naturally shaped and cut iron, as though cut from a single block gates that have written over them to be a beacon and illuminate the secrets of the past.
This definitely seems like the right place. Are the gates like open? Are they closed?
It looks like the gates are the larger size of the gates are closed, but you can see at the bottom there's a little door that's about person sized cut
Right.
into them that's unlocked.
Okay. Then yeah, Zenlin will like start walking forward and open the door. And
Yeah,
go
you
in.
walk for you walk forward, lay your hand on the door and push it open, and as you step through, sound comes to life. You can hear people bustling to and fro here within the university, and it's the difference. It's the difference in sound of a busy city versus many people running around in enclosed space.
Right.
And you notice that you no longer can hear the sounds of the city behind you. Only the sounds of people moving around the university, laughing in the greens. You see some students, or what you would assume to be students, throwing a small metal disc at a wall and seeing if it will bounce back into their hands. And you see many people just sitting around poring over piles of scrolls here on the front lawn of the university.
He'll probably approach
Uh-huh.
one of the people poring over scrolls and stuff. They seem like they know where the library is.
Yeah, go ahead and give me just a flat luck check, D20 roll.
Okay.
So we'll see who you grab here.
That's a 7.
That's a 7. Yeah, you walk up to one of the people. You see a small pink-skinned tiefling sitting here poring over scrolls. She's dressed in what looks like homespun cotton robes. And you approach. How do you approach her?
He'll just kind of go up and go, excuse me. I'm looking for the library. Could you perhaps point me in the right direction?
Oh yes, you see the third spire over there? It's on the east side of the building. That's the library. And you look and you see a spire that doesn't reach quite as tall as the main tower, but still goes up probably a good 5 stories.
I think I've got it. Thank you. Much appreciated. And he'll awkwardly turn around and like,
Do you know which section you're looking for? Because the floors are all different sections. Like, what are you looking to learn?
Looking for things on medicine, cures for things, maybe older, more obscure texts.
Oh, well, curative medicine's on the 3rd floor.
Okay, I'll definitely start there. Thank you. What was your name?
Oh, Zillion.
Oh, I'm Zenlin. Thank you, Zillion. Much appreciated.
Oh, is that Zenlin with a Z or with an X?
It's
And
with
you
an
see
X.
she's whipped out a piece of scrap paper and is writing your name down.
That would be with an X. What are you doing? Why are you writing that down?
Taking notes. I'm taking notes.
On your life? You're not in class, right? You're not.
Every day is a class. You're learning something all the time.
Well, that's certainly
Well,
been true for me the
just to-
last few days.
Just today, I learned that on average, 30 ladybugs come across this patch of grass in about 3 hours.
So like you kept track for 3 hours and then reset and kept track for 3 hours again?
Yes. Well, it's been an ongoing project of mine for about a year and a half now, but I finally got I think I've got enough data set to say it's approximately 30 every 3 hours.
I cannot imagine spending a year of my life simply watching ladybugs on grass. It sounds truly amazing for you.
I will say, I think you need at least minimum of 2 years, probably 5, to account for the seasons, obviously. And so 1.5 years, maybe
we
you get a
don't-
feel for how spring is.
We don't really need to deal with so you're not students here, are you? You're just visitors?
Oh, I assumed any student here would know where the
I'm a
library is.
lifelong learner. I don't know what you're implying. Never stop learning.
I'm just asking, are you enrolled at the Are you enrolled at the university?
So I would say I would
It doesn't matter. I mean, I'm just
more like
wondering.
an auditor of a class. I'm not officially matriculated.
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay. Well, then you probably hadn't. Probably this little fun fact for you: the university's closed off from the outside. You know, we don't really deal with the weather or the seasons or any of that. Not our issue.
That I do understand.
And you're able to look up and see open sky, but you know, anybody who's got. I don't think any of you have a negative intelligence. There's clearly some magic at work that protects the university here from the elements and such.
I feel like you just gave him even more reason to doubt your findings, if I'm honest. If you don't have seasons, then this is only true in this enclosed environment. You don't have a real baseline.
Well, and that's
What's
why
the experimental term?
Well, it's not. It's just how many ladybugs cross this patch of grass.
But this is a special patch of grass, not?
Yes, it's not. Well, it's not applicable to other patches of grass. It's just I was wondering how many ladybugs cross this one, and now I know.
Fair enough. Again, I envy your lackadaisical and your determined pursuit of knowledge, Zillion.
Thank you. You know, I didn't get your name either, and she looks at you, Jolly. But you look familiar. Well, let me check my notes. And you see she starts digging through the scrolls. And if you want to walk away, now would be a good time. But
okay, I walk away.
like she's clearly distracted, but you can also continue to talk to her if you wish.
So Reznor watches Jolly walk off, and he's gonna turn. He's gonna hold the robot out in front of him and say, "This name is Beep." That's with a B.
Beep. Beep. Wonderful. How? Well, that's quite. It's quite interesting. Is it alive? And she goes to like touch it, and as she lays a finger on its like side, you hear Beep begin that same noise that it gave when you picked him up the first time, and beep 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 beep.
Reznor's gonna pull it away, and he's gonna get real serious and
didn't
be like,
like that.
"Don't scare Beep."
Didn't like that. My apologies. Observation only, I assume. And she writes beep. And anyone who is looking can see that she's writing beep. Yells when touched.
Reznor will see her write it down. He'll get a. Sorry, go ahead.
No, after you.
As Reznor sees beep written down, he's gonna get a big smile and he's gonna nod, and he'll start to go after Jolly.
All right. And she says, well, it was a wonderful time conversing with you, Zenlin. I actually need to go do some research myself. And you see her start to gather up these scrolls. She's got like an armful and then some levitating on a magical disc behind her. It's truly an absurd amount of scrolls.
Zenlin just
dashes off
awkwardly
into the main
watches her
building of
get
the
them.
college.
Like, he just stands there awkwardly before it dawns on him that the others left, and he's like, oh, and turns and leaves.
I mean, Cocola's still with you, I think.
Yeah, I still think
But yeah,
Zenlin, like,
she
yeah.
dashes off, and you head off to the library spire. While you head over there, we're going to cut over to Jillian quick. Jillian, you head home to gather your things. You've probably got a fairly nicely appointed room within the halls of your house's outpost here in Sharn. Why don't you go ahead and describe for us what you've got there, like what you're gathering and putting together?
She first just runs over to her desk and she starts just grabbing a couple of books. She's got one about complications and surgeries and how it's an imperfect science, and she's grabbing a couple of other books. She's got one that's an elegant defense, and it's basically talking about the immune system, and she grabs a couple of those. Yeah, this will be a good one. And looking at any components that she has that she can just throw in her bag that she could use to patch someone up. So she's grabbing that, and then some clothes. Her room is kind of messy. It looks like she just basically goes in there and goes to sleep and has a pile of laundry that she hasn't done. So she's just grabbing the clean clothes and putting them in her bag, and a couple of books, components that she needs, and maybe lots of socks. You can never have too many socks and underwear, so she's grabbing that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you go to pack all your personal belongings here. You've got your books on medicine. You've got your plenty of socks, plenty of undergarments. And yeah, you're getting real packed for a good road trip here. You look around your room after packing, and it's actually, I mean, first of all, it's cleaner than it's been in a very long time. All the stuff you've had scattered everywhere is now either slightly more organized because you had to move it to look for something else, or packed away to go with you. And I don't think Jillian's left Sharn in quite some time. Would you agree?
Yeah, she's been there for a while, working on opening the clinic, getting it up and running.
Yeah, and you're no longer at the clinic, at least temporarily. You're leaving the city. You're going off to do something you've never done before, and this really is trailblazing for you. It's the first steps of a new sort of style of life. How does Jillian feel in this moment?
Well, she's disappointed that she was let go. Underneath she's kind of raging because She really feels like people need healing, and she feels like her house just makes too much money off of it. And there are just so many sick people that really need help, and we could be helping more, but we're just sort of my house just sort of chooses who lives and who dies, and seems to just pander to the wealthy. So she's upset about that, but this opportunity might be able to really do some good.
Yeah, I think those feelings really resonate with you for a long moment. And then when you finally start to think about how, this is your chance to go out and do good without any sort of qualification to it of, oh, well, I'm doing something good, but I need to get paid to do it. It's, this is just going out and making a change in the world, and the money you're going to get paid can be used to do even more good. So, there's that melancholy of leaving behind what you've known, but there's also that hope that things are maybe about to get better in a way you never could have expected. Where does Jillian head once she's got her stuff packed up here? Are you going to go look and see if there's any herbs you need to stock up on or anything that you have here in the halls of healing enclave, or are you going to the market? What's the plan?
I think she will go to the market. She doesn't want to take from the clinic because she just doesn't feel right about that.
Yeah. And I will say, you do know that the enclave here in the upper portions of the city where you live and stay is a separate entity from the clinic in the undercity. The healing halls here in the upper city they're catered towards wealthier patients, and they do tend to give more free treatments because they give free treatment to people who are able to, get them a discount on their healing herbs and things like that, or to people who are, the rent in this part of the city is a little cheaper now. People are cutting favors in exchange for free treatment up here. But yeah, if Jillian wants to head over to the market, she is good to go.
Yeah, that's what
and we will
do.
actually cut on over to the 5th level of the city here as you head up to one of the little skyway markets. Over here, this market is set on a bridge with a center lane that's to the bridge, semicircular in shape, and each one has a little market stall in it. There's about 6 stalls in total in this little market area. And it looks like 3 of them are selling trade goods, things like herbs and fruits and vegetables, some meats. There's another one selling weapons. There's one selling what looks like art goods. And you can't really tell what's being sold at the last one. It looks like everything's all packaged up still. But there is someone standing behind a little bench there, looking like they're ready to sell.
Yep, she will approach and look around and ask him, "Hey, what do you got here?"
Oh, all sorts of odds and ends, but mostly drink.
Mostly drink. What kind of drinks do you have?
I've got some ales, I've got some wines, and I've look, I've got some ales, I've got some wines, I've got a bit of liquor, not a ton, but and then I've got this new bit that I found off of one of the ships that came through from Zendrick, full of the explorers. And well, I've not actually tried it yet myself, but I've heard it's quite strong and got quite the what's that word they used? Sophoric effect. And go ahead and he pulls a bottle of it out to show you. And go ahead and make me a medicine check.
26.
26. All right.
Yes.
You are able to immediately recognize this as a bottle of Slumber Brew, a specialty of the giants of Zendrick from ages past, which is said to place those who drink it into a restful, healing slumber. The mechanical effects of this would be that it allows you to take a long rest in 4 hours, and each bottle contains 4 uses.
How much would you sell me? One bottle would be how much? Or do you have a discount for many bottles?
Well, I've only got 5 bottles, but if you want the lot, I could maybe do 90 gold.
$90 gold.
Otherwise, it'd be 25 each.
I'll take the lot.
All right, wonderful, wonderful. And he takes the bottle he was showing you, puts it back in the crate he pulled it from, sets the crate on the table. You can look in and see that there's 5 bottles there. And then he says, "Do you want the crate resealed?"
Yes, please.
What am I saying? Of course you do. Yes. And he takes the lid and hammers it back onto the crate, hands it over to you. It's a little crate, probably about shoebox sized.
Good.
So yeah,
All right.
you can go ahead and add a crate of Slumber Brew to your inventory, and I'll send you the information on that here.
Thank you. Pleasure doing business with you, sir.
All right. And you're able to find the rest of your basic healing herbs and all that here as well, fairly easily, and you're able to buy a full complement of what you think you would need for an extended trip for 3 gold pieces. All right, and we are going to cut back over to our crew at the university.
I think Copola's just like I said, following the group and laying low.
All right. So Jolly and Reznor, you actually headed off first. Were you both headed just towards that tower she pointed out earlier? Yeah. All right. Then Zenlin, you're able to catch up pretty quickly with the others.
Okay.
Yeah, you're able to catch up with the others pretty quickly as they head along to the library. And as you walk in, you see walls lined with books, as well as bookshelves filling the room. And it looks like it goes all the way up with a central spiral staircase that appears to be rotating on its own and lifting people up further and further into the library.
I feel like Zenlin is just like frozen in awe at like the moving staircase, all the books in one place. To the point that like he will in theory stand there without moving,
And you
just
see,
like turning.
as it gets higher, as you stand there and turn to look at everything, you're able to notice that the higher up into the library it gets, it looks like the uppermost floors you can see, it stops being books that are there and starts to be things like sections of carved stone wall that have been taken out from where they were and placed here into the library. Bits and pieces of ancient relics and ancient writings that have just been taken from where they once were and are now being stored here at Morgrave University. And go ahead and give me a perception check. You no longer have disadvantage because you are not in the sun.
Cool. A nat 20 for 24.
Nice. And as you stare up, you see probably at about the fourth floor, you see something that looks very familiar to you, and it looks like one of the walls of the tunnel systems that you grew up in, with what looks like very old drow writing carved into it.
His eyes will probably widen, and that'll kind of like make him shake his head, and that'll probably be the first place he goes instead of the third floor. Just kind of under his breath, muttering to himself, "What is that doing here? How would they have gotten this?"
Yeah, Jolly or Reznor, anything you want to do here in the library, or are you just sort of following along with Zenlin?
You know, if maybe in my retirement years I'll learn to read these books. Really only ever had to learn the rule books. Maybe I'll get into reading someday. You guys ever read books? Like, people don't really read these books, right?
I think, yeah, that's the whole point of them, isn't
As
it?
you
To
ask,
read them?
look around and see probably about you're able to look
I
around
feel
and see
like
about 30 people just on this first floor who are actively
Just
looking at
reading
books.
I feel like maybe they want us to think they like to read books, but nobody really likes to read books. It's kind of like when you go to like a coffee shop. You know, does anybody really like coffee? Or do you just want to be the kind of person that is seen at a coffee shop? Just me? Okay.
Reznor at that. I don't like to read books either.
See? This is what I'm saying. I had to learn one book inside and out, every word, every rule. And I did. Took me years, but I did. I did. Maybe I'll get back into it.
I think you're muted. Yeah, you seem to be muted, Chip.
Yeah, you're muted.
I always
You're
forget
back.
it automatically mutes. My mic comes unplugged. Oh no, we lost
You're back.
Cola. Yeah. So you're moving your way. You're making your way over to that central spiral staircase to get up to the fourth
Yeah.
floor. You letting it take you up, or are you running up these moving stairs?
I mean, nah, Zenlin's probably moving through, awkwardly pushing people out of the way, or, you know. This is exciting.
Yeah, you're running up the escalator, basically, and you're a pretty slight guy. You're able to slip through most people. Like you do have a couple like little brushes and bumps, but they're nothing like you're not knocking anybody down or off the stairs. You're just accidentally brushing into them as you pass by, and you get a couple of dirty looks. Don't you know you're supposed to just ride the stairs, not run up them? One crotchety looking half elf says to you.
Ignores. By the time he says that, I'm like 4 steps up already. Zenlin,
Yep,
Zenlin,
that's
like,
what I figured.
training for a soldier. He's like moving with a purpose.
Yeah,
You're
moving with a purpose. You get up into that section where you saw the piece of drow tunnel, and it's a sizable piece. It's probably about 10 feet long of wall and about 8 feet tall, as the walls typically are in your tunnels, covered in ancient writings. Now, you do speak Drow, so I'm going to let you attempt to translate this ancient Drow very, just freely. But you are going to have to make an intelligence check for me. And I'll give you proficiency since you speak the language.
Okay.
DC 18 intelligence with proficiency.
Okay, we're just going to use Arcana because it's an intelligence with proficiency. Hey, that's 2 in a row.
Yeah,
I like
that
this
works.
dice roller. That's a nat 20 for 24. I like this dice roller.
Yeah, you're looking it over, and you're not sure your translation. It's a rush translation. You're not sure it's 1-to-1, but what you get out of it is the Giant's Bane has returned to Zendrick, and we must banish it once more before it takes us down as it did them. Then next to that, you see Drock was here. Next to that, you see Drock has a small dick. Next to that, you see, no, I don't. About half of this appears to be basically bathroom wall writing.
Yeah.
And about half of it appears to be people scribbling things down about the Giant's Bane. And the gist of what you're able to get is that the Giant's Bane is not one entity. It is a mass of them. And it has appeared at least 3 times prior to this writing. One time when the giants were able to repel it themselves, one time when the giants fell, and one time when it came for the dark elves, and they were able to not repel it, but survive until it was sated and left.
Is this anything I've ever heard of, like in lore or stories?
I'm going to say on that nat 20, you've not heard of the Giant's Bane before, but you do remember stories of the giants falling, how their empire collapsed millennia ago, and that it was said to be something they brought upon themselves.
Got it.
And there's a little bit of a disconnect there with the information you're seeing and the information you already had. This sounds like it's an outside force that came and brought the giants down.
Well, that's interesting. And then I suppose he'll turn and start going back That's a question. If the spiral staircase rotates up, is there another one that rotates down?
Worth checking out. So yeah, you're
Because
trying
now
to.
I need to get down to the 3rd floor. Yeah.
Yeah. So you head on over to this spiral staircase, and you see that there's not another section of the staircase that heads down. There's a slide tied to the other side of the staircase that will take you down to the ground floor.
This is very inefficient. This could be so much better.
And as Zenlin says that I'm assuming he says that out loud to himself.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. As you're standing there by the slide and say that, someone next to you looks over at you and says, "Well, you're supposed to learn in order. You know, that's the tradition. You master one section and then move up to the next. That way you never have to go to more than one."
That's odd. I want to double check that I have something, but I believe I do. I believe Drow gives me levitate.
Yes, it does.
So yeah, Zenlin is not dealing with the slide. He is literally like stepping off, and as he steps off, he's going to cast levitate and just lower himself down to the 3rd floor and then step onto it.
Love it.
Very Drow like.
You just walk up to the edge of the balcony here, where there's a little gap between the opening around the floor and where the staircase is, probably about 3 feet wide. You step over the little railing there, start to drop, and immediately levitate yourself, and are able to get down to the 3rd floor with ease. Yeah. Go ahead and make me an investigation check to look for any information relevant to your situation.
Yeah. And it'll be like a general search, but like in theory, he knows that he hasn't found anything specific about it, so he's probably going to have to look at, like I said, probably some of the like older, more esoteric things if he wants to find anything, because like you said, like general knowledge is still there. But that's a 12.
That's a 12. You're looking around and you find some mentions of things that are supposed to help with a weak constitution. Like one says, on the eve of every new moon, one must drink a most unctuous potion made of the blood of a dead giant, the toenails of the snake people, and the feather of an enraged harpy.
Okay. Can you repeat that one more time for me?
Blood of a dead giant, toenails of a snake person, feather of an angry harpy.
Awesome.
Every new moon.
Every new moon. Okay.
Yes. Sounds like it's not a permanent fix.
Right. But it's something.
Yeah. And you're not sure, like a weak constitution could be a lot of things. It doesn't necessarily apply to your illness specifically, but it's a treatment that you haven't tried yet.
Cool.
All right. But yeah, most of the other things you find are like general medical advice for how to like deal with having a weak constitution. Things like, get plenty of rest, drink lots of water, make sure you're getting enough sunlight. And it looks like it's geared more towards the races that are more populous.
Yeah, he's still getting used, doesn't know how people deal with this heat all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's what he was looking for. So once he finds that, he'll realize that he isn't with his friends if they haven't come, and start looking for wherever they got off to.
Mm-hmm. All right. Does anyone else here in the library have anything they want to do before we head out?
Nope.
No? All right. Wonderful. So we will cut from this scene here and move to later in the evening, probably about 7 o'clock, about dinner time, honestly, or supper for our smaller stature. Those of you who eat second breakfast, 11s, and so on and such forth have already had dinner. Now it's time for supper as well. And yeah, you are all gathered at the Dagger's Edge for dinner. Would Jillian, would you have joined the group for supper at the Dagger's Edge now that you've gathered all your belongings?
Yes, I would.
Wonderful. So you are all gathered around, and the barkeep has been kind enough to make sure you have a table to yourself. It's one of those round booths back in the corner. Nice big table, plenty of space for everybody. And he's provided a lovely appetizer for everyone. A bit of fried onion wedge. And feel free to converse and talk among yourselves, make plans, whatever you wish to do.
Well, what do you think of it? It's a nice place, right? And it's super safe. I made sure myself.
The thing about this place is nobody's pretending to like beer here. Nobody goes here to pretend to like beer. You look around, everybody here likes beer. We just came from the library, and I'm telling you, there's 30 people. They're reading. You gotta be 25 of those people were, posing as readers.
Two things. One, if you were going to choose something to pose as, why would it be something so boring as a reader? And two, who could pretend to like beer? It's delicious.
That's what I'm saying.
Some beer is better than others, though.
Yeah, I
like
don't want
dark
that.
beer, but not
I
like that.
knew you were going to say you like that thick oil-colored dark beer.
Some of it
That
is like
must be
it's
a
just too much hops, and it's got that bitter bite at the end. I'm not a fan.
See,
Oh,
I'm
you
more
would hate the mushroom beer
When
we
do
have
you
down
drink
there.
mushroom beer?
I'd
Question
try
mark?
it.
Well, I'm from the Khyber. It's underground. There's no sunlight. We can't very well grow wheat to make our beer. Most of our drinks come from different kinds of mushroom and fungi. But it is quite bitter. If she doesn't like the bitterness of this, I'm sure that would be unpleasant.
Yeah, I don't really like bitter either. I prefer a lambic. I like the fruit added after it's brewed, sort of thing. Gives it a little extra crispy sweetness. I really enjoy that. But if it doesn't have hops, is it even beer?
At this, Ari, your lovely little method friend, comes up from underneath the table. Well, beer's different in every culture, Back
Oh,
home,
hi
we
there.
have a beer that's made. Back home, we have a beer that's made entirely of wood smoke. You take it and you compress it and compress it and compress it until it's a liquid, and then you drink it, and it's wonderful.
Bruv, I'm pretty sure in the real world we call that condensation.
Oh.
Well, it's different when it's compressed, right? And you see her looking around like,
I think the word you're looking for is condensed.
no, You force so much of it into a small bottle that it becomes liquid. Is that condensation? Is that? Oh,
I mean, when
mean,
you condense something, you're making it smaller, yes. If I have things in 4 boxes and I condense that down into 1 box, they are in a smaller space.
oh. Well,
it
it's
sounds
still
like you're
good.
in the smoker room to me.
It's still
I'd
good.
try it. I'd try anything once.
Oh,
Twice
you will?
it.
Well, then I'll get. Would you like me to bring you a bottle? Drew keeps some in the back for us.
Just a sample size, maybe a thimbleful.
That could be exciting, a good
You-
little bonding experience for us as partners. All of us trying
Well, you
something we've
kind-
never done before.
You kind of have to chug it out of the bottle because once you open it, if you don't chug it quickly, it turns back into, smoke. It expands. Oh, you're right. It is condensed. If it can expand, it has to be condensed. Yes. And she floats off to go grab you a little bottle.
Now, Zenlin, you said you're from the Underdark?
Yeah.
I knew this crazy guy. He was a hard partying Myconid. I think his name was Mike. Did you know him?
I mean, I knew many Myconids. I think I remember a Mike.
He was a hard partier. He was a fun guy.
I think when he was partying down there, he kind of went by Michael. He wanted to seem more refined. Helped him,
Yeah.
spread his spores.
Yeah, he was a fun guy. Definitely.
All right. And as you're all sitting there enjoying your meal, Drew comes up to check on you a couple of times. Stew for everybody. We've got steaks tonight too, as well. If you want one.
How much are the steaks?
Well, they're included in your stay. You're here with Coca-Cola, and she's one of the best.
Oh, is she?
Yes.
I mean, would you believe me if I said you were the second person today to say that one of us was the best?
No. Yes. I don't. Why wouldn't I? Why would I?
No, I don't know. Not very often that I've known people to refer to someone as the best, but I've now heard her referred to as the best person twice in one day.
Well, she's not the best person. She's just one of the best warders I've ever had the pleasure of working with. I don't say this to be mean, Coca-Cola, but the personality could use a bit of work. Very job oriented.
Not to be mean.
I mean, you don't pay me for my personality, so you can tuck that 2 cents right back in your change wallet because I don't need it. And she'll finger guns and wink at him.
Hey, you know what? That's fair. But see, Coca-Cola, you do pay me for my personality. So here's your 2 copper right back for you. And he reaches into a little pouch on his hip and pulls out the 2 copper and lays them in front of you. Anyways, so stew or steaks. Who's having a steak? Who's having a stew?
I'll have 2 steaks.
I want stew.
You'll have 1 steak and a bowl of stew.
Stew, for sure.
Stew, bowl of steak and a bowl of stew and a thing of steak. Mr. Porter, pleasure to see you again.
Yeah, you too. How have you been? How's the family?
I haven't spoken to them since the last time I saw you. So,
Oh, so the trip to the Bears Woods didn't go well.
well, it went well for me. Let me know I wanted to stay here on the material instead of going back to the plane of Earth.
Mm. Well, you know, that's what trips are for. You find things out.
Yep.
I think I'll go with the stew.
Stew.
I smell it
Um,
from here, and it just smells amazing.
The trick is that you've got to cook it in a clay pot, not a steel one.
Well, that is something I will keep in mind.
I don't know. I'm
And,
taking risks today. I'll try a steak.
A steak, wonderful. And if you don't like it, let me know and I'll bring you a stew. All right. Well, so we need 5 stews and 2 steaks. That we can do. Wait, 4 stews. 4 stews and 2 steaks.
I think there were 3 steaks. I believe Reznor wanted 2.
Yes, I know.
Reznor's gonna nod a lot.
Yeah, he said Reznor's getting a stew and a steak instead.
Oh, okay.
He was like, no, you don't get 2 steaks for free.
Well, can I have a stew and a steak then?
Stew and a steak? Yeah, you can have a stew and a steak, Jolly.
Great. Reznor, you can have my steak.
What?
Reznor's ears perk up.
You see Drew's face go, you know what? Fine. Yeah, you know, it's all the same amount either way. It doesn't matter who eats it, really, I guess. As long as food's going in bellies. I'll send Ari out with your food in a bit. Kokola, before you bed down for the night, I'd like to talk to you. Just when you have a moment.
Sure.
Come and catch me after your meal.
Sure. Will do.
And yeah, a couple of minutes pass, and Ari comes out with the bottle of liquid smoke and the meals for everybody. All right, so if you're all going to try it, what I recommend doing is, so the cap's on a hinge, so you can pop it off, put it back on, and then pass it to the next person after you take your swig really quick. But if you don't want to try it, you know, I won't be offended. It's really good, and I think you'd all really like it.
I'll go first. All right. I'm
Yeah.
ready for it.
Yeah,
Here we
go ahead. Yeah, you pop the cap,
Pop
take
the cap,
a swig,
quick.
and go ahead and give me a Constitution saving throw.
Just a straight Constitution.
Saving throw, yeah.
Wow. 8.
8. It tastes the way wood smoke smells. It's not awful, but it's definitely not food. And it hurts a little bit when it gets down your throat and into your gut. You know, it's not the most comfortable. But it doesn't actually do any damage to you or anything. It's just not comfortable.
It's good. It is. Wow. Whew. Yeah.
And
It
all
sure
of you can
is.
see, all of you can see as Jolly is talking, little puffs of smoke are escaping his mouth.
It definitely. Which wood is this? As I pass it on, tell me.
Apple.
What wood?
Applewood.
Applewood. You know, I was gonna guess apple. I thought maybe mesquite, but yes, that is definitely that. Yes.
Yeah. You wouldn't
Thank you.
believe how hard it is to start a fire on the demi-plane of smoke. My goodness, it's insane.
Wow.
Well, we don't have anything solid then. Zenlin, go ahead and give me your everyone who tries it, make a con save. If you have advantage on saves against poison, you can take advantage on it.
Oh,
If you get lower than a 10, it hurts a little bit. If you get lower than a 5, you're gonna take a D4 of damage.
cool. Roll it for me.
That's a
I got a
3?
3. Yeah.
All right.
I'm
That's
going
one
to
damage. That's one
abscond
damage.
from the smoke drinking.
You're gonna abstain.
Yep.
All right.
I'll drink my.
And you all have a merry little night. The meal draws to a close as you finish all your food, and anyone with a passive perception of 12 or higher can see Drew, like as he notices that your dishes are being cleared by Ari, shoot Kokola a look like, "Hey, we need to talk. Remember?"
I didn't forget. I was just otherwise occupied.
Do I see this?
Do you have a passive perception of 12 or higher?
I do. 14.
Then yes.
And I did roll a natural 20 on my perception. Okay.
Then in that case, yeah, you definitely see it, and you'll be. And if you want to, you keep an eye on them while they talk. You can definitely do that as well.
I'm keeping an eye on body language, vibes, reading
Yeah.
lips if I can.
Yeah. So with that amazing check, I'll let you go ahead and make an insight with advantage during the conversation.
Okay.
On the body language and vibes.
Well,
Since you're
the vibes are immaculate.
Yeah, Kokola, you're walking over to talk to Drew?
Yeah. He asks so politely, so I will.
A friend of mine told me that you might be leaving town here. And I know you paid up for a couple of nights' stay, so I was wondering if you just wanted me to leave it on credit for you, or...
Well, a friend of yours is extremely nosy and should mind their own business. And yeah, you could go ahead and give it credit back to me. I picked up a
Yeah.
side gig, so I'm headed out of Sharn for a few.
Yeah, I'll keep you on credit. No problem.
Thank you.
And you're good people, Kokola. I've got a bit of a gift for you. And he pulls out from behind this bar this small earthen urn with a cork sealing the top of it. Just a little something to help out on your travels. You know, if you run into any trouble on the water or anything, just pop it open and dump it out. You'll be good to go.
Okay. What is it? Question.
You know, I can't give away all the secrets. You'll see when you need it, if you need it.
Oh, you know what? I like it better that way. The less I know, the less you know, the less we all know, the less trouble we're in.
Exactly. Plus,
Oh,
a
that's
little
very
mystery
cool.
makes things more fun. And it's about probably like it's small enough that you can hold it in the palm of your hand, like sitting on it's just like a little tiny vase basically made out of clay with a cork sealing the top of it.
Okay. You said pour it in the water if I need help.
Yep, pop it open, pour it in water if you need help. If there's anything going wrong in the water.
Okay. I will give him a handshake.
Yeah, he goes to shake your hand, and there's, you're a dwarf. You go to shake his hand, and there's something there about the feeling of the stone gripping your hand that feels right to you. Of the that feeling of stone in your hand, and you feel connected to your ancestors who were of stone. You know, the first dwarves were born of rock. It's been some time since dwarves, reproduced that way, but there's something there.
Okay. I'll take a mental note of that.
Yeah, just a little flash of ancestral memory for you. It's starting to get a little later in the evening. It's probably about 9-10 o'clock now. You've had a good meal. You all have rooms here if you wish to bed down. Is anyone bunking together, or does everyone want like a single room?
I think me and Reznor had one together.
I don't think you and Reznor had rented a room yet.
Ah, okay.
Like
I mean, it's up to him. I don't really
before
care.
this
Yeah.
meeting. Yeah, up to you guys.
Reznor doesn't mind sharing.
Yeah, everyone's able to bunk down for the night. There's a nice little cushion in the room for you, Zenlin, to sit on for your trancing. And there's a bed provided as well if you choose to lay down instead. Yeah, it's very nice. And the evening fades away. Who in this group thinks that they're an early riser? Who thinks they'd probably be waking up first, or early at least?
I think
Jolly?
Reznor would.
Jolly and Reznor?
Yeah, I would say Cocola's probably up pretty early too.
Yeah.
Same.
Does Coca-Cola just sort of naturally wake up early, or does she like make a point of I'm getting up early?
I feel like
I'm assuming Jolly's the kind of guy who sets an alarm for 6 a.m.
Don't need
Yeah.
an alarm.
Well, yeah,
Don't need an alarm. As soon as that sun's up, I'm up.
I hear you.
yeah, I think Coca-Cola just is at the point now where a lot of work gets done early in the mornings when there's people, still at home, and late at night when people are going to bed and stuff, So she probably gets up super early, takes a nap somewhere in the middle of the day, and generally is up pretty decently late just because that's like the best hours for warding.
Wonderful. So yeah, Jolly, Coca-Cola, and Reznor, you all wake up fairly early. It's about 6, and you're ready to go. Zenlin, you actually probably wake up pretty early yourself. Not 6 in the morning, but closer to about 6:30, 6:45, when the sun's first rays shine in through your window.
I mean, Zenlin also kind
So
of
Jolly,
meditates,
Coca-Cola.
but
Oh yeah, that's right. My bad.
well,
But yeah,
no,
the
it's
sun's
mostly
rays
that too. That would definitely be when he like starts getting up and moving, is when the sun comes up and starts irritating him.
Yeah, the sun comes in, starts to shine, and you're through your closed meditative eyes. I think it's bearably bright, but it's very bright. So yeah, Jolly, Coca-Cola, and Reznor, what are you guys doing in this first half hour, 45 minutes that you're up? We'll
You
start
gotta
with
take a
Jolly.
walk. You gotta take a walk. You gotta get your stretch in. You gotta get loosened up, get the hips loose. So that's 40 minutes or so. Then you go obviously to the coffee shop, right?
Just to be seen.
I mean, as one does. So yeah.
All right. Reznor, what's your morning routine look like here in the tavern?
So Reznor will kind of get up and kind of stretch really long. Is there like an open area in the room where like no one's really in?
So since you said you and Zenlin were sharing, so I'm going to say you have a little suite almost. There's 2 separate bedrooms here. and one like main living area. So both your bedroom and the main living area have nobody else in them.
So since Resnor's used to being out kind of in the wilderness and all that, he's still got to get his workouts in. So he's pretty much going to do push-ups and kind of like a morning workout.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, you hop right into your morning calisthenics, roll out of bed, do your big stretch, and get right to it. Coca-Cola, what's your morning routine look like now that you don't have work to get right off to?
Yeah, generally she would be getting up and preparing her tools for the day, but knowing that they're heading out and going to be packing up, I think she still probably would be preparing her tools, making sure they're clean and putting the ones on her person that she would need for travel. And her travel box, her little caboodle box, it's got like a foot pedal mechanism that once she's done with it, she can just push it and it folds itself back up, and that's kind of how it pops open as well. So
Yeah.
she would just clean her gear, put it all back up, get packed up, and be ready to go. Pretty much, I think is this morning's routine.
All right. And then Jillian, how late do you think Jillian sleeps in?
Jillian doesn't really have a regular schedule.
Yeah.
A lot of times she's
She's an
up and
on-call
she's
nurse.
yeah. So I think she would take advantage of sleeping in a bit.
Yeah. So Jillian probably wakes up shortly before you have breakfast scheduled with Boar,
Yes.
I'm assuming. All right, cool.
Yes.
All right. So Jolly, you get back, or you go out on your morning constitutional, go for a walk, stop at a coffee shop. It's pretty busy, honestly, in the coffee shop here for 6:30 in the morning. A lot of the more, nocturnal groups are kind of filling it up, and they look like they're winding down for their night. But it looks like there was some sort of late night, event here, or early morning event here, rather, before you got there.
Okay, so I am quietly picking up the vibes. And I will do a perception check. 22.
Yeah.
I'm listening.
Go ahead and give me an insight check.
Okay. That's a 10 on the old.
You said that was a
insight
22?
check. 22 on the perception,
10.
but
Gotcha.
just 10 on insight.
Yeah. On the insight, you're not really picking up the emotional vibe, other than that things are quieting down a bit for the early morning. But on that perception, you notice a sign that says early morning poetry reading every night, 3 a.m.
Okay. All right. I'm digging it. I look at someone that I think might be in town just for a couple of days, and I make friends with them. I cast friends.
Yeah. You see, wonderful. You see over in the corner, there's a whole, probably about 4 times your size, a ogre wearing the bottom half of a studded leather outfit and nothing on top, who's sitting there, tiny cup of coffee, or tiny for him, pretty big for you, pinched between 2 fingers, slowly sipping it.
I quickly grab an empty cup of coffee from another table as I walk over. I walk over and I'm like, coffee, right? Just what you need. Just what you need this time of night.
Yeah, yeah, I guess it's it's definitely something.
That was
Really bitter.
something, wasn't it?
It's really bitter.
Yeah.
What was something? The coffee?
The poetry. I mean, some might
Oh,
call it a
you liked my
slam.
poem.
I did. I loved
You
it.
liked
That
my
part,
poems?
yeah, that part, the second stanza where you were talking about help me out here. That second part, there was something almost musical
Oh,
about it. The way that,
oh, I know what you're talking about. When we were talking about the lovely ladies
yes,
from Drone.
yes,
Yeah.
that hit me. It hit me right here. It hit me right here. It's you're a real talent. You really
I
have a
didn't-
talent.
Oh, thank you. And you said you're casting Friends.
Yes.
All right. What is your save DC for that?
Okay, let's see. I have advantage on all charisma checks. So no save. I just have advantage.
Oh, okay, so Friends is just automatic advantage. I thought there was a save. My bad.
Yep.
Cool.
I do
Yeah.
believe
Go ahead.
when it's over, they will understand that I had used some sort of magic power on them.
Gotcha. Okay. So yeah, just you're trying to make a friend out of this guy. Go ahead and give me a persuasion check.
Okay. So yeah, the part about the ladies, just there was something that flowed so well. I mean, it's almost musical the way you delivered it. It's really, really, really good. And let's see, a 15 with advantage.
15.
And
Yeah, 15's pretty good.
I think you just have a talent. I don't know.
Yeah. I've been thinking for a while about starting to do this for work. You know, not the biggest fan of my job. It's good. I get to smash enough heads and all that, but you know, it gets old after a while.
Yeah, it does. What's your day job?
Well, this is you know, I will work for the boss. Do what the boss tells me.
Well, I will tell you that what I saw last night, no boss. You looked as free as I've ever seen anyone look. There was a quality about it. I don't. What was that other part you were talking about? Because it felt, I could feel your emotion coming through in that other part.
Oh, the crunching and munching of bones and skulls.
Yes. God, I mean, it's not even my thing, but I could feel it coming through you so much. It just really felt. It resonated with me, and I think everybody agrees. Everybody in the room agreed. I could hear them, you know, sort of feeling what they were picking up what you were putting down. It's great stuff.
That's real nice.
Yeah.
You know.
Anyway, your name?
Yeah. Oh, Grug.
Grug, Jolly. If you ever get a chance, you got to come to Revan and visit.
All right, yeah. And, where's Revan?
Well, it's like northeast of here, and we're opening up a whole thing. We've got a small wyvern problem that we're going to deal with, but you know how that goes, right? And
just one more question.
Yeah.
Which one's northeast again? Is that to the sun or away from the sun?
Towards the sun, away from the water where we're at. So
okay. So it's not the one down, not the down one. The up.
Not the down. The up, but towards the morning sun, not the evening sun, the morning sun. So if you get up every day and you start walking towards the sun and you keep walking, even when it goes past, you're headed east. That's how I do it. I mean, you might have your own system.
I just follow the boss.
Well, listen,
But yeah, I'll talk to the boss and see if we can come to Revan, Jolly.
well, I was
Oh,
thinking,
yeah.
I was thinking more like when we get Revan up and running, we're gonna have coffee shops. We're gonna have theaters. I mean, you could perform.
You're gonna
If the
have a-
boss
you're
would
gonna-
let you, he probably wouldn't let you. If he went to Revan, he'd probably want to make you, work in the mines. But if you went there like to work for yourself as a performer, I mean, I could see big things. I could see big things. Anyway, I've got to go. We are getting out of town, but I really do hope to see you again.
Yeah, it was really nice to meet you, Jolly. I hope I see you again out of town. I hope I hope I see you again out of town. And he picks up his coffee mug with two fingers again and takes one last sip, sets it down, and you notice when he stands up, he's fully hunched over to fit into this coffee shop, like bent at the waist, almost at a 90-degree angle.
All right, I beat feet and I put the empty cup down on a table as I leave.
Yeah. So you head back to the bar. Zemlin, you're there, having probably awoken not too long ago. Reznor, you've finished up with your morning calisthenics. Kokola, you've got all your stuff packed. Jillian, you're sleeping in. And a bit of time passes. It's shortly before you're supposed to meet with Boar, about 7:45. Jillian, you've just awoken. You're all, I'm assuming, gathering in the main area of the tavern.
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right. As you gather and sit at your same table from last night, Boar walks into the building and looks around and then comes to sit with you. How is everyone today? Is everyone doing well? Good night last night?
Rezar look at him, give a big thumbs up.
Good to hear. Good to hear. And how is Beep?
No, he's just bebopping
Beep.
along,
Yeah.
doing his thing.
Yeah, Beep seems to be doing pretty good.
What's for breakfast this morning? That eggs and sausage that I really like, that would be perfect. Like a full dwarven would be the best breakfast.
It looks like none of the Mephits are working the breakfast shift. It's just Drew, and he comes up to your table. He said, "A full dwarven? We can make that work. Yeah, we can do a full dwarven. As long as it's not just for you, I could do a full dwarven. Full dwarven for everybody. Just put the spread out, and you can take what you want."
Definitely. I'm down for that.
Cool.
And some tea, please.
She's going to look very apprehensively when he says, as long as it's not just for you. And when everybody else is like, yeah, that sounds great, she'll say, yeah, it's not just for me.
I mean, I think everyone else is able to pick up that Drew is like saying, with the portion sizes of making it, it's not worth going through all that effort just to give one portion for one portion of everything. Coca-Cola, I think, took it personally.
He did say if it's not just for you. That's pretty
Yeah.
personal.
Fair
I
enough.
mean, there's no English folk in Eberron, so instead of saying like a full English, I said a full
Oh,
Dwarven.
I love it. I love it.
But if I have to share my breakfast, then second breakfast is going to come 15 minutes earlier than it normally does because I'll be hangry by then.
No, I mean, he brings you a full size, like full dwarven breakfast. It's just that he cooks enough portions for everybody. Basically, he's not good at cooking small portions. If he was cooking for just you, he would have cooked way too much and wasted food.
That's fair. I mean, he wouldn't have wasted food, but I suppose I understand.
That's what he believed, at least. But yeah, he comes out. He lays out a platter of some nice sautéed mushrooms, some fried bread. There's a little bowl of beans, some back bacon, fried eggs, sausages, a black pudding.
Yep, it all looks delicious to me. I'm just gonna put a bunch of everything on my plate.
And he sets a big 64-ounce tankard of ale next to everybody, except for Jillian, who gets a lovely cup of tea with the pot next to her.
Thank you.
I'm not surprised. Toter. Not one bit.
Well, eat up, and I'll see you all when you're heading out today. Yeah.
Yep, that's correct.
All right, yeah. I'm sure you'll all be stopping here at Dagger's Edge again when you come back.
Well, It's the finest establishment in Sharn. Why wouldn't we?
Hey. It's not the finest establishment in Sharn, and it doesn't pretend to be neither. That's our selling point. We're nothing but what we are.
You know what? I'll give it to you. You're nothing but what you are. But what you are is in the eye of the beer holder. So have a good morning.
Have a good morning. Eye of the beer. I'm keeping that one. That's mine now, Coca-Cola. I'm going to use that.
As long as you TM Coca-Cola Kundarak every time.
You can have it too. I don't think it's the Kundarak anymore, is it?
I mean, they're still my family just because I don't work for them anymore.
I thought you said the house exiled you, Coca-Cola.
I mean, it's not really exile. It was more like my mom's like, hey, you're a grown-up dwarf now. You shouldn't be sleeping in our basement. Go live your life. Get married. Do the dwarf woman thing. And I'm just like, no. And she said, okay, no inheritance. Hasta la bye-bye. Sort of thing. Not really in exile because that's very extreme. Extremely extreme. But more like get your shit
more of an
together.
Excommunication. Okay. Temporary exile.
Yeah, no, but yes, but something.
Look, and he shakes his head as he walks away. You hear him say, "These flesh-based beings, so complicated."
What was that? Coca-Cola?
Oh, I mean, it's really just a tavern keeper putting his stones where they don't belong. But if you must know, my mother is somewhat of a traditionalist and thinks that at 30, however many years is equivalent in dwarf years to 32, I shouldn't be living at home anymore.
68-ish.
Yep, there you go.
I think I did that math in my head right.
Yeah,
Okay.
that many years.
If that's all it is, you just seemed to bristle when you mentioned it, and I figured if we're going to be working together, it might benefit us
Well-
if we knew a bit about each other. I mean, did he say you were a warder last night?
Yeah, yes, I am. And my reputation in my profession is very important to me. So if people just fling around words like excommunicated or exiled, then it could tarnish my very pristine bronze reputation.
I mean, your reputation as a warder doesn't really matter that much right now. You've got a new job, right? Boar says.
You're asking me more questions. Oh, it's Boar. Hi, good morning, Boar. Yes, I guess I do have a new job, don't I? But my reputation as a warder is still important because someday when I retire from laying railroad, I'm going to have something to do.
I suppose.
Thought we were blazing trails.
Anyways, yes. Speaking of blazing trails, your starting funds, and he reaches into his backpack and pulls out a very heavy-looking coin bag and plops it on the table in front of you. I figure 100 platinum should be enough to get you started. You know, and
I think we can make it work. I mean, it'll be tight, obviously, of course.
I mean, well, I know you said you want to set up a base in Revan. Maybe if you're all willing to come with me and run up to where I've been run up to where I've been keeping the money, I could probably get you about 50 more platinum.
150 platinum seems like a good nest egg to get our first town off the ground, right, Jolly? You think that would be good, right? Don't you?
I do think so. I think that's worth the trip, probably.
All right. Well, then yeah, let's head on up to where I've been keeping my stash. We'll have to swing by the office quick for me to grab the key.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, we got to pack up our things and get ready to move out anyways. I wouldn't see why we couldn't just swoop by and pick it up on our way out of town.
Yeah, we can do that. Yes. Let's finish up our breakfast then and be on our way. Jolly, I wasn't sure you'd be coming, honestly. I thought maybe you would have gone and begged for your old job back by now. But it's good to see you still here. I was just worried because I know, how well you got on with all the people on the line. But I'm glad you're sticking with us. That's all. That's all I really meant to say, is that I'm glad you're here. I should have kept my mouth shut. Anyone who wants to give me an insight.
Nope.
If you hit a 15 or higher, let me know.
Coca-Cola.
I got 22.
Yeah, I'm muted. Good at that. Yeah, Jillian and Coca-Cola both 27-22.
All right, 15 are those of you who got below a 15 notice that Boards just honestly seems like a pretty anxious guy, and it seems like that's hitting him today. Those of you who got above a 15 are able to see that this is just based off the baseline impression you got of Boar yesterday. He's far, far more anxious today than he was yesterday. And that could be down to, like, it's the big day. It could be jitters. It could be something else. But you notice it's that same kind of look on his face that he had when he first read that scroll.
Yeah, I was just going to say, does it have something to do with maybe the message he got last night?
Yeah, it's a very similar look, just paled, speaking over himself, stumbling over his words. But yeah, so let's.
Yeah, I want to talk to him about that whenever we go to pick up the rest of the money on the way out of town. If that's possible. I want to ask questions.
Yeah, do you want to just are you trying to, like, get him, like, to the back of the group and talk to him, just you and him? Are you trying to are you just going to ask him, like, in front of everybody as you walk? What's the plan here?
Mostly, like, it's not really if the group hears things, because it's important to them because they all just bought into a business with him too, but more like away from the prying eyes and ears of things and houses in particular in Sharn.
Yeah. So I think you know that probably the best place to do that would be as he's grabbing the key from the office, like inside the office. So yeah, you make your way up to his office in the Forge District, and he ducks back in to grab the key, and you're able to follow him back into his little personal room there.
Is everybody going to
You
come
see
with?
him putting a.
Yep, I'm going with.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You see him sort of covering the combination lock on his personal safe as he twists it and opens it up to grab the key that's in there. But
Hey,
I've got the key. We ready to go?
Yeah. Before we go, though,
Yes.
I think, since you're asking about my excommunications, that it's proper for me to ask you and my friends here too. You seem a little off today. You're kind of resonating the same energy you were when you opened that scroll you got last night. Everything all right? Anything we should talk about? Anything we should talk about that you don't want to talk about?
Well, I just, it's just like I said, it's an old business partner. They're trying to, but they want to. Our venture failed through no fault of mine. They just didn't put in the work that they were supposed to, and things fell apart. And now they want in on they want in on this, and I don't particularly want them involved with this one. And it's a bit stressful. That's all.
What kind of venture was the last one?
We were going to remodel the Undercity.
Okay. And what was their? You said they didn't put the work in. What was the work that they were supposed to do?
The construction.
What exactly were you supposed to do then?
Planning and, designing the buildings and, financing. And, my part went perfectly fine. See, and he reaches back into the safe before he closes it and pulls out a folder full of what looks like architectural plans, and plops it down on his desk. And it's a good-sized folder. It's probably about that thick. You know, I followed through with my end, and they didn't follow through with theirs, and that's actually why I developed the spell that showed me to all of you, because you can't trust every stranger off the street, but you can trust divination.
You
Well,
can't
we're gonna
trust-
put in the work.
That's true, I guess. Were your old partners strangers off the street? Should we know who they are in case they try and come and interrupt us doing our work?
That was the question I was going to ask, because
You keep just saying your old partners and them. Names would probably be useful.
Yeah, well, I think the one to look out, the one person to look out for, I mean, he had a whole construction crew, obviously, but his name was Brian.
Brian. And name would be awesome.
Brian Limestone.
Ooh.
Not house affiliated or anything. Just he's got a little bit of a crew, and they didn't do their job. So, when things fell apart, I was out quite a bit of money, and they just didn't. They just didn't get profits because there was nothing to profit off of. So really, I'm the wronged party here, but they blame me.
I think you owe them money.
Yeah, they think I owe them money.
Hey, listen, I got a couple of cousins that also aren't affiliated with the house anymore, and they're about knee height if you want it handled while we're gone. Just saying.
I'd rather just keep dodging him. Don't want to get violent or anything. There hasn't been an issue yet, really. It's a little stressful,
Have
especially
they
when
threatened
you get that
violence?
as hand delivered to the office.
Letters that say
really.
what?
All right, so the letter says that I need to pay them their cut or else, but they don't have a cut. There were no profits.
And how
And
much
so
exactly is their cut supposed to be?
Well, he seems to think that I owe him about 300 platinum. And, well, I haven't got 300 platinum, if I'm being fully honest. You are about to walk away with almost 3/4 of my life savings.
No, we'll take very good care
So
of it. Don't
there's
worry.
a lot of trust going on here. But, trust in the divination.
Huh. Well, I think I have an idea. There's probably a magic shop around here somewhere. And maybe we should pick up a pair of sending stones. And you keep one and we'll keep one. And it'll be a good way for us to communicate while we're out and about. And then if anything happens, you can call for trouble. And I could send my cousins.
Well,
You know what?
I
I actually
don't think we need a stone. I can do that. That's the thing I can do.
Oh, okay. All right. I like it. I like it. I dig it. I could work with it. You're a man of many talents, Jolly.
Wonderful, wonderful. Then yes, let's go get the money.
Yes.
Uh,
Let's.
And he begins to lead you along to an area that looks very familiar to one of you. Jillian, this is the markets section that you were at yesterday, where you bought the bottles of Slumber Brew. And you see he walks up to one of the little enclaves off to the side where the market stalls are, reaches down and brushes some dust off of one of the cobblestones, and you see a little keyhole that he's able to fit his key in. He goes to turn it. You hear the click in the cobblestone. And these are very large cobblestones. They're about 5 feet by 5 feet. Clicks and lifts up just a bit. He gets his fingers underneath it, pops it like it's hinged, and you can see that underneath here is a little safe, almost. Like an in-ground safe. He reaches in and pulls out a bag that looks about the size of the bag he handed you and counts out 50 platinum pieces, handing them to who grabbed your coin bag, by the way?
If nobody minds, I guess I'll do it. It's kind of my thing, money and stuff.
Yeah, the rogue can be in charge of the money. What could go
I'm not
wrong?
that kind of rogue.
Would that
All
kind
right.
of rogue tell
hand-
us they were that kind of rogue?
I mean, I suppose that's the mystery of the whole situation, isn't it?
Or would they go to the coffee shop, but not really to drink the coffee?
hands the platinum to Yuka-Cola.
And I will put it in a place that is for safe keepings.
Yeah. You do this. He recloses the cobblestone, relocks it, brushes the dust that he moved away back into the keyhole to fill it back up, and stands up. Well, we best be sending you on your. And he's looking at your group, kind of looking past all of you. Let's go ahead and open up above VTT quick here
Ooh, I dig it.
for our first time.
They're not threatening violence or anything. They just said or else.
You will be in the bottom middle cobbled area here on the screen. And let me get you set up right. There we go.
I got nothing, Chippy.
Oh,
Oh,
it
there
is.
we go.
I see it.
All right. You said bottom right, right?
Bottom middle. Next to the cart.
Yeah,
The red cart.
it won't let
Think
me
you have
drag
to
Yep,
it
right
in
there.
I think you got to drag us on, Chip.
Yeah, I can't
All
do
right.
it.
Yep, I got you. No problem. I don't have you guys here for some reason. 1 second. All right, gang. I think that's where we're actually going to end for tonight then, because we only have about 20 minutes left to go, and this would probably take more than 20 minutes, and your tokens are not showing up for me.
Oh,
wait.
joy.
Never mind. I figured it out.
Got it. Let's go. Let's do
I
it.
figured it out. It was user error. User error. All right. We have. All right. Why are you not loading? Why are you all invisible?
VZ beer.
It's a nice map, though. I like it.
Yeah.
Isn't that right?
Mhm.
Thank you. I
Select
stole.
token vision.
No, I didn't actually steal it. Yep, that's what I did. It is not working. There we go.
Yeah, I don't know why it
Token
won't let.
options. There we go. There is Jillian. You should be able to select your own tokens here as well, and make them a little bit bigger. They should be the size of one of these cobblestone blocks.
Yep, I see Jillian on there. I can make
Uh-huh.
that. Open adjustment.
There we go. All right. A lot for tonight because I am struggling with above VTT. But let's go around and say our goodbyes quick, and we will get right into combat when we start next session.
Sounds perfect to me.
I will make sure we have this all set up better next time. My apologies.
Oh, you're good.
So let's go around and say our goodbyes. Let's start with Zenlin.
Hey, I'm Zenlin or NewDrone001 or Don. Catch me on Twitter. That's really about it now. Or catch me here on Monday nights when we play Grimhollow, where I play Brill, who is also a quiet, broody, roguish character.
All right. Jolly.
If you've made it this far into the show, thank you. And I do confess, I do love coffee. But I guess I'd like to use my time to just give best wishes, best of luck to what's happening in Hawaii right now. It's devastating and really sad. I think it's going to be sad for a long time. So just best wishes to Hawaii.
All right. Reznor.
I am Reznor. You can also catch me on Monday nights playing as Harnock, who is the exact opposite of Reznor.
He is, isn't he?
All righty. Jillian.
I am Jillian, and also known as Shen. My heart goes out to. I have a lot of family on Maui. I am Kanaka Maoli, so yeah, I do have family, a lot of family back there. A lot of family I haven't actually been able to talk to. So yeah, it's rough. It's rough, and you're right. It's going to take a long time. It's going to take a long time for them to bounce back if they ever do. But yeah. And I play here on Heroes and Hooligans.
All right.
Yep, you do.
All right. And last but certainly not least, Kokola.
Hi, friends. I'm Hooli. I play games, run games, and produce games here at Heroes and Hooligans. I run the Monday night show Delirium at Grimhollow setting. We play at 7:30 Central Time on Mondays. And then obviously I'm Kokola here on Thursdays at 6:30 Central Time. I also am the production director at Queens Court Games, which we are getting ready to head off to New Jersey Web Fest again. So you should go check out the remaster of the Vampire the Masquerade podcast over there, the All Night Society. And that is what I got. Chip, take us out.
All right. Well, I have been your GM today, Chipper. It's been a pleasure playing with everyone here. I hope everyone's enjoyed watching, and I can't wait to run our first session of combat next week. You can find me on Monday nights in our Grim Hollow campaign playing Sir Storic Wright, our honestly asshole of the party.
Yeah, I was going to say resident dick, but asshole works.
Hopefully we'll see some personal growth from Storic soon, or personal decline. Maybe he'll get even worse. Who knows?
Who knows?
Not me, I'll tell you that.
Well, yeah, I know though. All right, we'll catch everybody on Monday for shenanigans. See everybody later.